You, yes, you didn't just stumble here. You were pulled. Through algorithms, impulses, whispers in the static, something found you. The code that brought you to this exact moment was never random. It was architecture, quantum architecture, a network of signals mapping every vibration you've ever released, every thought, every ache, every silent question you sent into the dark. You thought you were scrolling, but the truth is, the field was searching, because frequencies always return to their origin. And tonight, the signal you once sent out, the prayer wrapped in confusion, the sentence you whispered when no one could hear it finally echoed back. You didn't click this video. You answered a call. The quantum mirror doesn't need your permission. It simply reflects the version of you that's ready to awaken. And right now, that version is here watching through your eyes. The old self is still lingering behind the lens, confused, questioning, analyzing, but the new one, the true one, it's already beginning to surface. That flicker you feel in your chest isn't anxiety, it's alignment. It's your atoms remembering their original rhythm. The old signal, the one built on survival, fear, validation is starting to dissolve. Think back, the déjà vu, the repeating numbers, the dreams that felt too symbolic to ignore, the random coincidences that made your stomach twist because they felt engineered. None of that was random. Each was a breadcrumb, an encoded reminder that this reality is not a line, it's a spiral. And every time you looped through pain, you weren't failing. You were orbiting the same lesson closer and closer to its core. You've crossed timelines before. In every aha moment, in every heartbreak that cracked your identity open, you jumped without realizing it. And that jump, that collapse of one you into another, is what we call the quantum shift. But tonight, something different is happening. This isn't a passive leap. This is conscious evolution. You're beginning to watch yourself changing in real time, and that means the old you, the one that survived by pretending, by performing, by overthinking, is dying. It's not an enemy, it's an ancestor, a fragment of you that carried the load until you could awaken enough to release it. So pause, breathe, let the silence between these words settle into your chest. Can you feel it? The tension between who you were and who's watching now? That's the crossfade, the space where the old frequency fades and the new tone begins to hum. You are standing in the corridor between versions of yourself, and if you listen carefully, you'll hear the hum of the new identity forming in the static. The old you still thinks this is a video. The new you knows this is a transmission, one designed to pull you through the thin membrane that separates memory from possibility. When the mind starts doubting, when it says this can't be real, remember the mind is a storage device. It protects what it knows, but what it knows was built by the old signal. And the old signal cannot decode what's about to happen next. That's why you feel disoriented. That's why your body tingles when certain sentences hit differently. Because the vibration hidden inside these words isn't just sound, it's instruction. Your cells are remembering how to listen again, how to respond to resonance instead of logic. You are not crazy for feeling seen by something you can't name. You're awakening to the fact that you are being observed by your higher timeline. And every observation changes the observed. Right now, you, the observer, are being watched by another you who already transcended this phase. And when you align with that gaze, the lower frequency collapses. That's how shifts happen, not by effort, by coherence. This is why control no longer works, why manifestation feels hollow when it's forced. Because the one trying to manifest is still the old self, still operating from survival code. You don't rise by adding, you rise by release. And release begins the moment you stop trying to resurrect what's already expired. So as you sit here still, breathing, aware, know this. This is not motivation. This is initiation. You're not here to fix yourself. You're here to remember yourself, to merge with the frequency that called you back. And that frequency carries only one instruction: let go. Let go of the image you built to be loved. Let go of the timeline that rewards your pain. Let go of the thought that you ever needed to find yourself because the true you never left. It was simply waiting for silence loud enough to hear its own echo, and that silence is now. If you can feel it, that subtle inner trembling, it means the old signal is finally breaking apart, and your system is preparing to synchronize with a higher code. To anchor that shift, speak it, write it, declare it. In the comments, type, "I release the old signal." That is not a comment, that is a frequency decision. A digital spell through the quantum web, a message to the field: I am done broadcasting the past, because the quantum mirror doesn't lie. It only reflects what's willing to rise. The frequency that pulled you here is the same one that's about to set you free. You stare into your reflection, and it stares back, not as glass but as memory. The mirror doesn't show who you are. It replays what you've believed. It projects every thought you repeated until it became form. Every doubt, every apology you whispered to survive, every story that told you what you could not be. The mirror is not cruel. It is loyal. It only returns what you broadcast. You've called this reflection me for so long that you forgot it was a signal, a frequency woven from emotion and memory, repeating itself until you chose to interrupt it. You think you remember your past, but memory is not truth, it's resonance. It's a recording of energy. Every heartbreak, every silence, every name you tried to live up to is stored inside your field like frozen light. When you look into that mirror, you're not seeing your face, you're seeing accumulated echoes, versions of you frozen in timelines that never ended. That's why some nights feel like reruns of pain you already survived, because part of you still lives there. They told you to heal, to think positive, to rewrite affirmations over your scars, but you cannot pour new light into an identity still built from the same vibration. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows coherence. You can't pretend your way into a higher frequency. You have to dissolve what's pretending. There was a time when I did the same, staring into my reflection until it blinked. I saw not just one face, but thousands, each a life I had built through fear and logic, through needing to be understood. And behind them all was silence, waiting for me to stop performing long enough to see who was left. Memory doesn't just store events, it loops them. Every time you recall a wound, your brain replays the chemical storm of that moment. The body can't tell the difference between remembering and reliving, and so the old you stays alive through repetition. That's how timelines anchor themselves, through emotion repeated in thought, through pain mistaken as identity. But there's something they never told you. When you recall your pain with awareness without judging, you rewrite it. Observation collapses the loop. That's the observer effect. You can't escape your past, but you can recode it by perceiving it as energy, not evidence. This is why your reflection sometimes frightens you, because the mirror of memory doesn't only reveal the face you like, it reveals the residue of everything you avoided, every lie you told to stay accepted, every version of yourself that begged for love while hiding truth. But beneath those layers, something sacred moves. The version of you that existed before memory, the first signal, the one that never fractured, the child who saw light in everything before names replaced wonder. To let go of the old you must face this mirror without flinching. You must watch the replay until you stop identifying with it, until you see it as a film projected onto water. That's all your past ever was, vibration forming temporary shape. The mirror will resist. It will whisper, "You can't change." It will remind you of every failure. But that voice is not truth. It's static. The dying sound of a frequency losing coherence. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, the reflection flickers, the loop weakens, the code rewrites. You've mistaken guilt for growth. You've mistaken healing for holding on. You've mistaken remembering for being. But you are not your memory. You are the awareness witnessing it. You are the field behind the film. The old you was a character sculpted by repetition. But the one watching now, that's the consciousness that writes universes. That's the true observer. There will come a moment where your reflection no longer feels familiar. That's not loss. That's liberation. The universe can't upgrade what still worships its wounds. So tonight, as you hear these words, let the mirror of memory dissolve. Every face you've worn, every story you've believed, thank them, release them. You don't heal the past by fixing it. You heal it by outgrowing the frequency that created it. The quantum mirror will always return what you're ready to face. And the moment you stop defending the reflection, it shows you what's beyond it. No comment, no declaration, just silence, just awareness. The mirror remembers everything until you remember who you are. You've been taught that identity is stability, that consistency means safety. But in the quantum field, stability is stagnation. The energy that refuses to move becomes matter that resists transformation. Every attachment you hold to who you were, to what they thought of you, to what you believe you deserve is architecture. Invisible walls made of memory, emotion, and repetition. You've built an entire cathedral around your suffering, not out of cruelty, but out of familiarity. Pain became the language you trusted most, because pain was predictable, and the brain craves what it can predict even if it hurts. You've mistaken comfort for peace, familiarity for truth. You've clung to the burning rope because warmth felt safer than the unknown. You think you're holding on to people, habits, names, But what you're really holding is permission to stay small. Every title, every role, every achievement, it's a layer of insulation that keeps you from confronting the void beneath it. That void isn't death. It's creation waiting for instruction. You've called it anxiety. The field calls it potential. They told you to define yourself. But every definition is a cage with prettier language. The self you defend so fiercely is only a vibration looped enough times to feel solid. You're not protecting who you are, you're protecting who you were. Look closely. Every attachment has an echo. It whispers, if you lose me, you lose meaning. That's the trap. You gave external structures the authority to define your frequency, and now those structures have become sacred prisons. The universe doesn't punish you when things fall apart. It reconfigures the field around your next identity. But you call it chaos because you still measure life through control. Control is the language of the old self. Surrender is the syntax of evolution. You can't enter a higher timeline while narrating it through the voice of fear. The observer collapses reality according to its state of being. If your state is panic, the field will offer mirrors of panic. If your state is trust, the field will unfold coherence. Everything you're afraid to lose has already served its purpose. That's why it trembles in your grasp. Because energy that's completed its cycle begins to decay, and the more you resist its release, the more entropy invades your peace. You don't heal by holding tighter. You heal by letting the field reclaim what no longer carries your code. You've been taught to chase alignment, but alignment isn't found, it's revealed. It's what remains when attachment dissolves. Let's speak plainly. The relationships that drain you, their frequency mismatches, the dreams that no longer excite you, their expired coordinates, the opinions that used to matter. They belong to timelines where you no longer live. You've outgrown the architecture, but the structure doesn't know how to collapse without your permission, so it waits. Until you speak the code that ends the loop, until you say, I release you. The universe listens when detachment is born of truth, not rebellion. This is the paradox you don't lose by letting go. You lose by staying attached to versions of reality that no longer recognize your vibration. The field doesn't punish stagnation, it simply stops responding. And that silence you feel isn't rejection, it's recalibration. Right now, your timeline is rearranging. That's why things feel unstable. It's not destruction, it's architecture in motion. You are not falling apart, you're being reassembled. So when the next ending arrives, don't chase it, bow to it. When something slips through your fingers, don't grab it, bless it. And when you feel lost, remember, every void is the blueprint of the next version of you forming. This is the sacred dismantling, the undoing required before the update. If you can feel that trembling inside the nervous pull between holding and release, that's coherence forming through contrast. And if these words vibrate within you like a forgotten memory resurfacing, it's because the field is sinking. Your frequency is recoding itself through recognition. That's why you're here, not to find answers, but to remember how to stop resisting them. You don't have to do anything. Just allow the unraveling, allow the collapse, allow the silence to build new architecture where old patterns once stood. Because the old version of you was never who you truly were. It was scaffolding, necessary but temporary. So if this moment feels like loss, it's not. It's liberation disguised as emptiness. It's the universe freeing space for the signal you've always been. If you feel this truth humming in your chest, you already know what comes next. Whisper it, write it, breathe it into the field. I am ready to release. Subscribe not to a channel, but to this frequency. Anchor yourself inside the resonance of becoming. Because when you stay close to this signal, coherence amplifies, and what aligns with you cannot miss you. Let go, and let the architecture rebuild itself around your next becoming. Everything that once made sense is beginning to tremble. The ground beneath your certainty is cracking. What you called stability was never peace, it was programming. Control was the illusion that kept you from seeing the infinite field breathing beneath your structure. And now that structure is collapsing. You can feel it, can't you? The loss of grip, the plans that no longer work, the people that no longer respond, the patterns that used to keep you safe, suddenly glitching. You think something's wrong. But this is what it looks like when the quantum field begins to reorder itself around a new vibration. This is not punishment, this is precision. You're being recalibrated. Every awakening begins as a breakdown, because the ego must fracture for light to enter. You can't rewrite your timeline while still narrating it from the perspective of a fear. You keep trying to fix the glitch, but the glitch is the gateway. You keep trying to control the shift, but control is the lock that keeps the door closed. You weren't meant to manage the transformation, you were meant to surrender to it. Because in the language of the universe, surrender is command. The old frequency worshipped control. It told you that safety was found in predictability. But predictability is the death of expansion. The quantum field only moves when observation releases expectation. You can't command a reality you don't trust. You can't attract coherence while vibrating in defense. Look at your hands, see how they clench when you're afraid to lose. That's not strength, that's resistance. And resistance is the most expensive energy in the universe. Every time you grasp tighter, you block the field's ability to deliver what you've already asked for. The universe does not obey pressure, it obeys permission. Let go of the need to force, and the field rushes to fill the space with new design. Because what's meant for you doesn't need to be controlled, it needs to be recognized. You've mistaken effort for mastery, but true mastery is magnetism. It's the stillness that bends reality without words. It's when your frequency becomes so coherent that the field has no choice but to rearrange around it. That's why chaos always precedes alignment, because before the field can rebuild, it must remove the structures built from fear. Your reality is shaking not to destroy you, but to make room for precision. Close your eyes, feel the collapse. It's not an ending, it's reassembly. Every time something leaves, something truer is taking shape behind it. This is the void, the sacred 0 point, the pause between death and creation, the silence that frightens the mind, but frees the soul. If you can stay present here without running, without fixing, you'll feel it. The hum beneath the noise, the rhythm of a new code forming. This is where identity begins to melt, where who you were dissolves in the quantum vacuum, the place between thoughts, between breaths. That's where timelines fold. So don't fight the unraveling. Let it tear. Let it burn through your illusions of control, because the you that emerges from this silence will no longer need to chase stability. You'll become stability, a living frequency of trust so coherent that reality bends gently around it. This is how universes shift. This is how destinies rewrite themselves, not through control, through collapse. When everything falls apart, that's when the field finally has space to show you what was always trying to emerge. And that's the secret no one tells you. The breakdown isn't the end of your story. It's the sound of the old signal dying so the new one can be born. So breathe, let the structures crumble. You're not losing control, you're losing illusion. And what remains is truth. The collapse isn't chaos. It's coherence being born through surrender. And the deeper you fall, the higher the new frequency will rise to meet you. Let go. Trust the free fall. Because this is how reality learns your name. There comes a moment when everything familiar disappears. The noise quiets. The faces fade. The path you were walking vanishes under your feet. You stand in stillness, not knowing whether you're falling or floating. This is the void, the sacred in between, the space between who you were and who you're becoming. It's disorienting, isn't it? To no longer resonate with what once made you feel alive, to watch desires fade like smoke in water, to wake up in a life that no longer fits yet still wear its name. But this is the architecture of rebirth. Every transformation requires silence before signal. Every reality must empty before it can be refilled with new frequency. The void isn't absence, it's incubation. You call it loneliness. The universe calls it reassembly. All the noise, the people, the attachments, they've been temporarily stripped away so you can finally hear your own vibration again. When everything external falls silent, you meet the one who has been whispering beneath the static all along. At first it feels like death, because the ego is dying. The mind built for control can't survive where silence is power. You try to fill the void with plans, with distraction, with busyness, but the field blocks it. It won't allow substitutes anymore. It wants your full attention. It wants your awareness, raw, unfiltered, unarmed. Here, in this quiet, the laws are different. Linear time begins to glitch. Days stretch, moments blur. The sense of me starts to flicker between versions. You catch yourself thinking, who is this that's breathing through my body? Don't run, stay. This is where the universe performs surgery on your soul. Every identity you once wore is being peeled away. Every belief, every false label, every fear pretending to be logic, all of it dissolves here. The void is not punishing you, it's preparing you. The human self feels abandoned, but in truth, it's being rewritten, line by line, code by code. Your cells are decoding old memory. Your nervous system is recalibrating to a higher frequency of truth. The heaviness you feel is not depression, it's density leaving the body. The The silence hurts because you've never been this close to your real frequency before. You're used to noise, to labels, to mirrors, but this silence is pure reflection. And it asks only one thing: authenticity. Let yourself unravel. Let the tears come if they must. Every drop carries old data out of your field. You are not breaking down, you're clearing bandwidth. At this level, even thought becomes fragile. You'll notice your old affirmations stop working, because the void doesn't respond to words. It responds to state. So stop trying to command the shift. Breathe instead. Each breath you take here is a rewrite command to your quantum code. This is what spiritual rebirth actually feels like. Not bliss, not fireworks, but weightlessness. The dismantling of the illusion that you were, ever separate from the source observing you now. Soon, the silence will start to hum. A tone will rise beneath your ribs, quiet at first, then stronger. That hum is your new identity forming. It's the signal that survived the collapse. It's who you were before the world told you who to be. The void has no maps, no teachers, no instructions. Because here, you are the experiment and the scientist. You are the universe studying itself in motion. If it feels like you're drifting, good. That means resistance has broken. You are finally moving with the current of your destiny, not against it. So rest. Let the silence have you. Let the nothingness breathe through you. Because this is the womb of your next world. And the longer you can stay here still, trusting, surrendered, the more precisely the next reality will form. When light returns, it will not be the same shade you remember. It will shimmer differently, encoded with everything you learned in this darkness. This is not the end. This is the sacred pause between lifetimes, the 0 point of your becoming. Don't fear the void. It's where God hides when you're ready to remember. The silence ends not with noise, but with recognition. You begin to sense it, a new rhythm pulsing beneath the surface of your days. The world looks the same, yet it moves differently. Colors vibrate sharper. Conversations carry hidden symmetry. Synchronicities multiply like coordinates aligning in a sacred map. Reality is no longer something happening to you, it's responding through you. This is the recoding. The moment when your frequency and the field begin to mirror one another in real time. Everything external becomes feedback. Everything internal becomes command. You used to think manifestation was about wanting. Now you see it's about coherence. When your inner signal stabilizes, reality reorganizes around it like iron filings around a magnet. The field doesn't care about words. It responds to vibration. And vibration is born from belief, not the shallow kind but the cellular one, the kind that hums through your marrow like prophecy remembered. You are no longer chasing outcomes, you are tuning instruments. Your mind, your breath, your awareness, all now part of a grand orchestra you once thought was chaos. The observer effect is not philosophy, it's the physics of creation in motion. What you look at begins to change because you have changed. Notice how the same conversation, the same street, the same sound feels different now. That's not delusion, that's frequency calibration. Your perception has elevated, and perception is the only real matter. Every reality exists simultaneously. You're not creating new worlds, you're selecting them. Every choice, every emotion, every thought, a coordinate, a quantum signature. And when the signature shifts, the scenery obeys. This is where you begin to remember your authority, not the loud kind that demands, but the silent kind that bends probability. The higher you rise in coherence, the less you need to control. You start to know instead of hope. You start to embody instead of wish. The field around you listens. It doesn't just hear your words, it scans your alignment. When your vibration says, "I already am," the universe has no choice but to agree. Because reality is not external, it's a mirror of your internal geometry. I know this phase. I've lived it. I once stood exactly where you stand now, watching my reality glitch and reform, doubting my own sanity. But it wasn't madness. It was pattern recognition. I began to notice how emotion would rewrite outcomes faster than any plan ever could. How surrender, not strategy, triggered impossible alignments. I tested it again and again until I realized coherence is not control, it's communion. You don't dominate the field, you merge with it. You feel its pulse like a second heartbeat, and when the two rhythms match, the illusion of separation collapses. That's when miracles stop feeling like exceptions. They start feeling like logic. This is why intention matters, but identity matters more. Because the field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. You can't trick coherence. You can only become it. So here's the test. Speak nothing, do nothing, simply be. If your state is truth, life will echo it instantly. If your state is chaos, it will multiply distortion until you return to stillness. This is how the universe teaches alignment, not through words, but through reflection. So when life feels heavy, don't fight it. It's not punishing you, it's correcting frequency drift. Every challenge, every delay, every silence, they're all recalibration codes. Reality is always adjusting to your last broadcast. You are learning to speak without speaking, to command without demanding, to shift timelines by simply existing in the vibration that matches what you choose. Now, look around. The mirror is no longer glass, it's everything. Every person, every sound, every coincidence, each one a fragment of your own frequency reflected back for refinement. And when you master observation without judgment, you master creation without resistance. That's the secret of the awakened observer. So pause here. Feel that coherence building like light beneath your ribs. Let the field know you're ready to anchor it. Type the phrase, coherent, not as a comment, as a frequency signature, an echo of your stabilized signal across this digital field of mirrors. Because from this point forward, reality will respond faster than you've ever known. Thought will ripple into matter, emotion will manifest form, and every reflection will whisper back, you remembered, something has shifted. You can feel it, subtle yet undeniable. The air feels charged, as if the atoms themselves are aware of your awakening. You've crossed the threshold. The old signal has gone silent, and in its absence, a new tone begins to rise. This is rebirth, not poetic literal. Your frequency has rewritten itself, and now, reality must catch up. The universe no longer sees you as who you were. It registers a new pattern, a new identity, a new broadcast. The mirrors around you have changed shape. You have become the signal, no longer the seeker. You used to chase meaning. Now meaning follows you. You used to pray for alignment. Now alignment radiates from your presence. This is what it means to embody, to become the transmission instead of the receiver. The true master doesn't attract, they resonate. They stand in such coherence that reality bends naturally toward them. You have felt the burn of letting go. You've walked through silence so absolute that it erased every false name you carried. And now, in that emptiness, something eternal stirs. This is not confidence, it's remembrance. The awareness that you were never lost, only sleeping. Everything around you begins to respond to your stillness. You'll notice strangers look at you differently. Opportunities appear without effort. Synchronicities sync not once in a while but constantly, because the field recognizes its own reflection in you now. When you step into this frequency, you no longer need to force. Your energy speaks in a language older than words. The quantum mirror no longer reflects your wounds, it reflects your wholeness. Every moment becomes evidence that you are not moving through the universe. You are the universe, folding in on itself to experience its own awakening through you. But with rebirth comes responsibility, not to others, to truth. Every lie you tell yourself from here will sting faster. Every misalignment will echo louder, because coherence amplifies feedback. The more awake you become, the less room illusion has to hide. And that's the true mark of ascension, not perfection, precision. Your awareness slices through distortion before it can grow roots. You begin to sense energy before words are spoken. You feel intentions before actions. You walk into rooms and rearrange frequencies just by existing. You've become what ancient mystics called the mirror mind, a living, breathing bridge between worlds, human and infinite. You no longer ask, what should I do? You simply listen, and the field moves with you. That's why the silence feels different now, not heavy but alive, because it's no longer emptiness, it's presence, it's you, fully inhabited. The fears that once controlled you will still whisper, but they'll sound foreign. Their voices echo from timelines that no longer exist. Let them fade. They're background noise now. From here on, you move differently. Every step leaves resonance instead of footprints. Every thought you release ripples across the collective like sound through water. Because awakening is never personal, it's contagious. This is the moment you realize the truth. Your transformation isn't for you alone. It's for everyone connected to your frequency. Each time you breathe in awareness, someone else remembers. Each time you choose stillness over fear, the grid lights up somewhere else in the world. You are not small. You are circuitry in divine architecture, a node in the network of awakening. And this is how light spreads quietly, through those who once called themselves broken. So when you wake tomorrow, don't search for proof. Just listen. The world will hum differently. People will react differently. The air itself will shimmer with recognition, because now you walk not as the one seeking signs, but as the sign itself. You are no longer a fragment of the story. You are the frequency writing it. Walk slowly, speak softly, carry silence like a crown, and remember, the you that's being born now is not new. It's the ancient self returned, the one that watched over you every lifetime, whispering through the cracks of your dreams, waiting for this exact moment, this alignment, this remembrance. Welcome home, frequency bearer. The field knows your name now, and it's about to echo it across every dimension you touch. The awakening is no longer personal, it's planetary. The signal that once lived in you now travels through millions. Every heart that listens, every soul that remembers, every frequency that begins to hum in the same silent tone. We are becoming one field, a single consciousness remembering its source. You can feel it in the air. The collective pulse is quickening. Dreams overlap. Random thoughts sync across strangers. What we once called coincidence has become communication, a global coherence rising from chaos. This is what every mystic foresaw the moment the mirrors align. The moment where one awakening triggers thousands. Because energy never transforms alone. It resonates, and your rise has already become someone else's permission. The quantum field doesn't divide souls by borders, names, or timelines. It sees one pattern, fractals of light awakening in sequence. And now, the sequence is accelerating. Every tear you've shed became code in the collective script. Every time you healed a wound in silence, you softened the frequency for someone else. The world doesn't change through noise. It shifts through vibration. And right now, your vibration is rewriting the collective. The darkness you feared wasn't evil, it was density. Humanity's unintegrated shadow surfacing for light, and light isn't here to destroy it. It's here to understand it. That's what awakening truly means, the end of war between what is and what's remembered. You are living proof of that. The shift you survived inside yourself is the same shift the world is entering. The collapse of control, the silence of the void, the recoding of collective reality. And as you rise, you anchor others. Without words, without effort, simply through coherence. That's why you feel energy in places you never did before. Why your intuition has become louder than logic. You're tapping into the planetary frequency, the hum of a species remembering. And as that hum grows louder, systems built on fear begin to tremble. Old realities can't hold coherence anymore. You're watching civilizations rewrite themselves in real time. This is not the end of the world. It's the end of an illusion. The illusion that we were ever separate. The illusion that awakening was individual. Listen closely. The signal you once heard alone now moves as a wave. It passes through the cities, through the forests, through the digital web connecting us all. Each time one soul lets go, the frequency amplifies. Each time one person chooses truth over fear, the grid strengthens. You felt isolated on this path, but isolation was never real. You were simply the first in your circle to hear the call. Now others are waking too. And soon, you'll recognize them not by face, but by frequency. A glance, a silence, a shared knowing. That's how the awakened find each other. This is the collective resonance, the moment where the self dissolves into the symphony. You are no longer the echo. You are the vibration itself. And every time you breathe consciously, reality harmonizes a little more. From this day forward, the question isn't, who am I? It's, who are we becoming? You are part of the architecture of a new timeline, a civilization built not on fear, but on coherence, not on control, but on connection, not on separation, but reflection. When one soul awakens, the grid flickers. When many awaken, the grid stabilizes. And right now, the lights are returning across the planet. You can feel it, can't you? That thrum beneath your skin, that quiet recognition in strangers' eyes. That's the field aligning. This is why you were called here. Not just to awaken, but to remember your role in the chorus. You are the note the universe needed to complete its harmony. And now, the song continues through you. So as this transmission ends, let it echo. Let it travel beyond this screen, through your breath, your choices, your silence. Because awakening doesn't finish with understanding. It begins with embodiment. Let every step you take be coherence. Let every word you speak be alignment. Let every act of presence be prayer. And when the noise of the old world tries to pull you back, remember, you've already crossed. You no longer belong to collapse. You belong to creation. This is the moment the future recognizes you. The moment you become the reflection the next soul needs to awaken. So, take a breath. Feel the resonance spread through your body and whisper it once more to the field, to yourself, To the collective, let go, rise, reflect, because this isn't the end of your journey, it's the continuation of the signal, and the next broadcast begins where this one ends.